YouTube? I'm back with another video working on the '02 Avalanche, and I'm going to be replacing the rear upper and lower control arms. Alright, so I got the vehicle jacked up right there under the pumpkin, supported by a jack stand. Excuse me. And I got my wheel up under it for added support. I know what y'all thinking. You're like, these are considered control arms. In my opinion, I call them upper and lower trailing arms. But if you go on the website, upper control arms, rear. And then I also got sway bar links. I'm gonna do another video on that. Some can call them upper and lower control arms. Some can call them sway bar links. I'm sorry, trailing arms. But I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do to get these out. So these are the parts that I'm replacing. This big bar here is this bar here at the bottom going across, and then this bar here is the bar here going across the top. Excuse me. Notice it's got a bend in it, so make sure y'all pay attention to that bend. Don't matter which side is which, but make sure obviously you don't point it facing this way, rotate it that way for whatever side you're working on. But the tools needed: where we at? 21 millimeter socket, 21 millimeter wrench, impact gun to make things a little faster. Obviously you want to break the lug nuts or these bolts free by hand first. And we're going to need a number 12. I'm going to show you where it is because it's in the back. I got the socket and ratchet on it so that y'all can see. Right there on the back where the emergency brake cables go. So 12 millimeter bolt up there. So I'm going to take that off first, and I'm going to get back with y'all. So I'm going to start with removing this part first, which is the bottom one. It don't matter which direction you put it in. It's definitely the same all the way around. I got that bolt out of the back. And the reason I took it out was because with this 21 millimeter, let me see if I can show y'all. It was a little hard for me to get the socket up there with these higher cables. I couldn't bend it down, so I'm gonna put my impact on it. I already got the bolts broken loose. 21 socket and ratchet. If you're using a socket and ratchet, I'm using an impact. And down here is where the wrench gonna go, right behind the caliper. So that's how long the bolt and the nut is. If you're doing it by hand, meaning socket and ratchet. Let me get the other side of the bolt out now. So I got the old part out, took both of the bolts out, and just came down with my hand, and it came out. If it don't come out, just use a hammer. I'm changing it because the bushings are dry rotted. I figure I catch it now before they get too busted, and then the bolts get seized up in there. So old part, new part about to go in. So I got the bottom arm in. I just got to tighten up the bolts. Don't matter which end you start in, but whichever end you choose to start in, start to put the part in, push it in that way or that way. Don't just line up one hole and put a bolt in. You're not going to be able to get it in. You're going to have to shove it in a little bit and then bring it back in order to get that seated. Alright, once you get those bolts snugged, torque them down to 70 foot-pounds. And don't forget about the 12 millimeter bolt back there that holds on the emergency brake cable. And that lower one is done. Now we're going to the upper. This is the upper. And it looks like we're going to have to use a socket and ratchet on this one because it's so close to the rotor. I don't think I'm going to be able to get an impact on there. So we might have to do this one manually. They still 21mm socket and ratchet and wrench. So I got both of the top ones loose. Pull them out. And this how long that top one is. And then this one should just push out. You see that one fall. Seems like they're different sizes. Short one goes right over the brake rotor. I could just pull that out. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we got a bit of a fucking problem. On that long bolt, which is this one, that goes through here, there's a retainer that sits in there and it fell in. I guess that's why they got this little access door, so you can get you a magnet or something to hold it up in there. So we either gotta fish that out or we're gonna have to get a new nut. So let me see what we can do. Okay, so I was able to fish this out with the magnet. Just that dumb piece that fell off in the backside. So probably got to get some 90-degree pliers to hold that in there. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I gotta figure out something to get that up in there. So that's the piece that broke. I'm about to figure out how this going. Basically, this would sit against the wall, obviously, and this sits right on top, just like this. So when you put it in, it'll go in, and that hook will go right against that opening. So I'm gonna go get the welder out and get that to stick. That's all I'm doing. Okay, I came back from welding. That shit ain't gonna hold whatsoever. I don't care. I just want to get it up in that hole so I can get my bolt through there. So let me see what I could do. That's what my weld look like. All boogered up. It's not even cleaned off, but I just needed to stick just to get that bolt through. That's all. So I got it to stick. These both get torqued down to 70 foot-pounds also. And there you have it, O2 Avalanche. Upper and lower control arms, or upper and lower trailing arms. Make sure y'all comment, like, and subscribe. See you on the next video.